Okay, good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First, I'd like to welcome, do we have HCAM today?
Yes, we are here.
Yes,
We're live and
it
recording.
came on.
Beautiful. I'm just trying to make my screen a little bit bigger. Excellent. All righty. Welcome, HCAM. I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Appeals, May 13th, 2026. My name is John Catino, and I'm chair this evening. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipating the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Okay, who do we have? Let's see, who do we have here today? We've got Jim, Dan, Sean. Oh, do we have Mike? So we have
Mike.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got 5. Okay, good. All right. So, Mr. Burton,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Riley,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hunt,
Here.
Mr. Masterson. I need an okay, Sean.
Here, I've only been
Okay,
using Zoom
beautiful.
this year, so.
Thank you. Okay, and who do we have from the town?
John Gelsich is here, and I
John.
believe we have Jeff Wood as well, the zoning enforcement officer.
Great, thank you, Jeff. Okay, all right, and this open meeting of the Board of Appeals is being conducted remotely. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials have been provided to members of this body and available on the town's website via the web meeting calendar, unless otherwise noted. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. And as per usual, members standards. Well, I'll ad-lib it. Yes, if we have a long list of abutters that wish to speak on this, everybody gets 2 minutes. Please, I'll ask for somebody to sign in first, and then we'll just take everybody in order. Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, shoot, I don't have the opening script for these. I didn't get that. And Dina usually sends me the 7 p.m. Yeah, I didn't get those. Let me just back out and see if I can find them. Yeah, John, I don't have, I get the draft minutes, I get the motions, but I don't have an open for this one.
You just need the notice.
Yeah, the usual thing that I read that says at 7 o'clock tonight, everything is on optionma.gov. All the materials are there. This is proposed development is at U16 151 and U16 153 54, located titled the MBTA. I mean, all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it in the folder. Let's see where Adina had put it.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. It's so funny. I got all my other paperwork in order and I forgot all about that one.
I don't know where it is. I don't see it in the folder.
Can we open without it?
What's that?
Can we open without it?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you can just, if you want to, you can just say that the public hearing was posted in the, here, let me get one that we have normally.
I'll find one.
All right. If you want, I can read one and try and fit it in.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll open one right here.
Okay.
Okay. Public hearing notice. Board of Appeals hold public hearing on Wednesday, May 13, 2026, 7 p.m. to all persons interested in a uniform application of special permit and variance for 0 and 14 Main Street and 10 Walcott Street.
John, I found it if you'd like me to read it.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, May 13th, 2026 at 7 p.m. to hear all persons interested in the uniform application for special permit and or variance filed by Capital Group Properties, LLC, 259 Turnpike Road, Suite 100, Southborough, Massachusetts, for property located at 0 Main Street, 14 Main Street, and 10 Walcott Street, Hopkinton, Massachusetts, as currently shown on Assessor's Map U16-153-4, U16-151-0, and U16-143-0 combined into one single parcel. The applicant seeks relief from the zoning bylaws pursuant to section 210-20.3A parentheses 2, uses allowed by special permit, for construction of a 13-unit multifamily residential development on the portion of the property located in the downtown business zoning district. The property is owned by Christos C. Siarkos and Zacharias C. Siarkos, 158 Glenview Street, Upton, Massachusetts. The hearing will be held remotely using Zoom meeting service. For additional information, please email zba@hopkintonma.gov. Yada, yada, yada. That part is unnecessary.
Excellent. That's usually the part that's automatic in my head. MLMP. Okay. All right. So, who's here to speak on the proposed development?
Yes, good afternoon, or good evening, I should say, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is attorney David Click from Nealon & Click. I'm here on behalf of the applicant Capital Group Properties in relation to, as John mentioned, this application for special permit under section 210-20.3 and in particular 210-20.3A2. I have with me this evening Robert DePietri of Capital Group Properties, as well as Mark Allenker of MP Design Consultants, as well as Angelo Catanzaro, a fellow attorney who has assisted in relation to the permitting that we anticipate moving forward on this project.
Excellent.
So,
thank you.
So, if I may, in sharing my screen.
Okay, John will arrange that.
What I can say in advance. Okay, here we go.
Nice set of drawings and everything. Very, 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 very professional. We do like that on this board. That when things are easy to read and everything's there. Oh, Mike, let the record show that Mike Damasio is here now.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that everyone can see what's on my screen here, which is an A&R plan that is dated in or about October of 2025 and recorded in the registry as of on or about December 8th of 2025. And what this shows is otherwise the consolidated lot, which is going to be devised of what are technically right now 3 individual lots, which, as John mentioned, are 14 Main Street, 0 Main Street, as well as 10 Walcott Street. So this project is subject to some additional permitting, given the fact that we are seeking multifamily housing under the town's newly adopted MBTA Communities Multifamily Overlay District initiative, which was approved at town meeting previously. So I just want to let the board know that we are intending and anticipating going forward on further permitting under 254B1 for permitted uses under what we'll call the MICMOD for permitted uses by special permit, as well as in relation to off-street parking in the downtown business district, which is under section 210-20.4, and I will just submit that pursuant to the express terms of the bylaws, that's within the purview of the planning board. So that will be anticipated permitting moving forward beyond purposes of the board this evening. The reason why we're before the board this evening, knowing that we still have to go for the permits before the planning board, is because in looking at the A&R plan, when the sub-districts, and we have 3 sub-districts within the MICMOD here in the town of Hopkinton, those being the downtown sub-district, the Walcott sub-district, as well as the Preserve sub-district. 14 Main Street and 0 Main Street in Hopkinton fall within the downtown subdistrict. However, 10 Walcott does not. And if I can just bring you to what we have in the materials that we had provided, i.e. the site plans in particular at sheet C102, you'll see that of the units that we have, 2 of the 13 units in this development fall within 10 Walcott, which is not within the downtown subdistrict. So we are going forward this evening pursuant to 20.3 to allow for multifamily development within the downtown business district, which requires us to seek a special permit and be subject to the dimensional regulations of the RA zoning district. So before I get into that, I just want to give a brief overview of this project in the individual lots as they stand right now before they are consolidated. So we have 14 Main Street, and 14 Main Street in and of itself, which you can see here, that is what is abutting the town hall. It has frontage off of Main Street, and it's roughly around 30,000 plus square feet in size. Like I mentioned, it has the restaurant, the longstanding pizza bar and grill, now Beaumain Pizza Bar and Grill, which has access from Main Street and has over 52 feet of frontage along Main Street. It also has its own parking, which is roughly on or about 37 spaces. What I'll submit to the board is that there will be no change as to the restaurant or as to that parking, in which we'll go into further detail shortly. Looking to the northeast, where 0 Main Street is, that is, for the vast majority, that's right now raw, undeveloped land, with the exception of some impervious surface on its southern portion. There's also located on that site 2 Connex boxes that have been currently used for storage. However, in anticipation of this development, those would be removed with the oncoming development. We also have 10 Walcott Street, which is roughly around 15,998 square feet in size. That property currently has a 615 square foot single family dwelling used for rental. That I will say, because this development will be broken into 3 units as a condominium. One portion of the condominium will be 10 Walcott, which will be that residential piece, which will, I submit, which will remain unaltered or changed or modified in any way from a use or structure standpoint. The driveway stays the same. That does not get touched. Even as to 14 Main Street, as I'll just segue into, again, sheet C102, the majority of 14 Main Street that's usable, or that's being used now, that remains unchanged. Really, the only area of which is going to be altered or developed at this point is that northeastern portion, and that northeast portion of, or the entirety of 0 Main Street, but then also just the central and eastern side of Walcott and the northwestern side of 14 Main Street. That in and of itself, the development will be the second of the 3 units. I guess essentially we'd have 4 units because we'd have 4 structures. We'd have the first structure, which is 10 Walcott, the single family residence. We'd have a second structure, which is a 6 unit, all enclosed multifamily townhouse complex. And then directly alongside it would be a 7 unit multifamily complex, giving rise to the 13 unit in total. And then the third portion of the condominium is the Beaumain Pizza Bar and Grill, which is the fourth structure that I'm alluring to. There was previously a environmental, and in terms of just getting to the conditions of the site, there was previously a phase 1 environmental site assessment performed on this lot in February of this year. A report was then prepared and submitted. I had included it in the application materials, and just in summation as it relates to that report is that it did not, or the findings did not identify any concerns related to environmental or related to the environmental status or condition of this entire parcel put together. So just keeping with this sheet C102 and getting into a bit more about the actual development itself, there's going to be, as you can see, 13 residential dwelling units comprised of 12 market rate units and 1 affordable unit. I'll provide here the this is our elevation and floor plan layout. Each unit is going to have, and as I bring you down to A102, each unit is going to have its own private garage built into the unit, along with a second surface parking space. This is in compliance with the parking requirements for this construction, which is 1.25 to 2 spaces a unit. Each unit's going to be comprised of roughly 1,800 feet of finished space. As you can see from the floor plan here, we have the first floor, which has the garage. We have a flex room, as well as our our mechanical room and storage with a bath. Then we have our second floor, which is a dining room, kitchen, living room area with bath. And then a top floor, which is 2 bedrooms with adjoining baths. So actual footprints of these, each one of these units will be 20 by 40. So it'll be roughly, but yeah, it'll be 20 by 40. Each unit's going to have its own built-in utility room for the boiler and the hot water heater in the garage area. And then, as I had mentioned before, the majority of this development is going to fall within the MICMOD, with the exception of Units 1 and Unit 13, which fall within just strictly the downtown business district. However, I will say that in terms of our dimensions, we do have a rear setback of over 20 feet. So we have about 24 at minimum 24.4 feet of setback for the from the actual rear portion of the property leading up to the road.
What is the required setback for that section? Just so I don't have to look it up.
It's 20.
Okay.
It's 20 feet. And you'll also see we have already built in snow storage within the rear of the lot, as well as some potential snow storage, I believe, up here in this area.
Anticipated some of my questions.
Okay, yeah. And I'll submit for the board, at least that I've been involved with. We've had two meetings with DPW, Board of Health, with John, as well as with the one with the building inspector or building commissioner, and then with the fire department as well, just to discuss, among other things, discussing the stormwater landscape plan and access to the property. So the landscaping plan, which I'll just provide here at C105 of the plan set that was submitted with the application. Just identifies what the landscaping will be to provide an additional buffer between the buildings and the street along Claflin Street. And we'll say that the access to the development will be coming strictly from Claflin Street. There will be as you can see here, there's a two-way access point on the southern central portion of the development. However, that is just for emergency access only, and that will be divided, or will be there will be outside of actual curbage here and a retaining wall on either side of that. Either side of what is going to be a 12-foot panel, like or it's a 12-foot panel double swing gate that will be located here, that will be accessible for the emergency services for the fire and police. There will also be pedestrian access from the development, not drivable, but pedestrian access walkable from the development to the street. But no, there won't be any for access by vehicle.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
So the entire lot itself, again, is roughly 59,470 square feet, and the frontage will be coming off of Main Street. And again, the parking will remain the same for 14 Main Street. And the parking as it relates to just the actual units themselves, we do have 2 parking spaces per unit.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, that's all. Well, now I usually go to our professionals to see if Jeff or John have any input for the board. And
through the chair, I don't have any input.
Okay, Jeff, you got anything? Okay. Yeah, because I do know that this is the only place inside in Hopkinton that can have any multi-units built at this time. There's a moratorium, I think, till 2030 or something before, and the other parts of town can have garden apartments or condos. So, I understand that. Okay, any questions from the board from Mr. Click? I mean, who we have? Let me just double check who we've got. Who's on this call? So there's me, Michael, Mike, Jim. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got Sean and Dan. Dan, do you want to take it, or Sean, do you want to take it?
I think you have Arnold on there too, John.
I didn't see Arnold pop up.
Yep, I think
Arnold, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, so have you been? Did you see the whole presentation? I didn't see you.
I know I was kind of held up before I was able to get into it.
Okay.
So I saw most of it, I guess.
Do you feel competent, comfortable enough to be?
Is there anything before us, or is this an informational meeting? Are we voting?
No. This is this. Oh yeah. This is for a special permit for the well, that's what we talked about, 014 Main Street and 10 Walcott Street. All right, so then Arnold, you stay for informational, and let's put on either Dan or Dan. Do you want to take it, or
Yeah,
Sean?
that's fine.
Okay, great. Okay, so you and Sean can ask the questions, and then we'll have. So then it's Pete, Mike, and Dan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got it. All right. I just want to make sure we had that down before we started. Because sometimes at the end it gets a little messy. All right, so who's got questions for Mr. Click? It wasn't
John,
that great.
I have a question.
Sure, thanks, Sean. Okay, I was hoping.
I think the project meets all of the setback requirements, size and setback requirements.
Yes, that's
I
correct.
know we referenced the 20 feet on Claflin Street, but to my review, it does seem to meet all the setback and size requirements.
Right. I think also the important point of this is just because they're in anticipation for any questions with regards to 10 Walcott, in that the existence of the residential piece that's there. I just submit there's no alteration, modification, or change to that structure or to its use, which has just been ongoing since 1925, nor is there going to be to its access. The driveway will essentially stay the same.
Is there going to be like renovation to that property, or is it going to literally stay the same?
That's actually a good question. I'd probably relay that to either Mark or Bob.
Yeah, hi, Bob DePietri, Capital Group Properties. Currently, there's no renovations planned for that home. It's currently rented out.
I don't think that has any bearing. That was more of a clarification. So thank you.
Okay, Michael? Well, Mike, you always have a good curveball.
No, I have no questions about this. Oh, excuse me, I shouldn't say that. Did you submit any plans that actually show the buildings?
Oh, we have plans. I'm happy to send these on. I'm not sure if we had these, candidly, if we had these available. These are our elevation plans and our elevation and floor plans that show just what the units are anticipated to look like.
Oh, nice.
So there'll be decks off the back, access around.
I have a question, and I apologize. I'm on this small little cell phone because I couldn't log in on my computer. But
Sure.
if there's nothing being done to 14 Walcott and it's going to remain, or 10 Walcott, if it's going to remain as is, why is it part of this project?
Oh, no, that's a good question. So the entirety of 10 Walcott is, and bringing you back to, I guess we can go to the A&R plan. So the entirety of 10 Walcott as it stands right now, and mind you, this is all going to become one contiguous lot. It's this highlighted portion right here. So when the sub-district, or when the MICMOD overlay districts were being created at town meeting, just pursuant to the section 210, 251, 10 Walcott Street, for reasons I don't know, was not included in the MICMOD. I'm not sure why, but it wasn't. It's just completely within the downtown business district. So because of that, although the rest of the project, or the other units fall within the MICMOD, the Unit 1 and Unit 13, and maybe even a little portion of Unit 12 and Unit 2, those fall within the downtown business district. Therefore, because they are residential use, multifamily, we have to go forward before the board for a special permit under 210, 20.3.
So you need the land for the other one.
That's correct. That's correct. Right. Because of this,
like I said, I'm trying to figure out, why do you know, why, if it's a separate thing. So you're trying to pull something that isn't in the district, and I'm not, just a little bit, hear me out. So it's not in the district, but you need that portion of it to be in the district in order for these to be allowed. Is that what you're saying?
For the development, yes. Yep.
Well, I don't think it needs to be pulled into the district. We just need to say that it's allowable to go to bleed over, I think is what.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry.
It is.
That's right.
Because actually, John
he needs it in order to do the project.
Right.
In order to do the project he has with the other two buildings, he needs that. He needs a portion of that land, which isn't in the district. So he's got to get the special permit to allow us to do that, so he can then build those very nice looking structures.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Gelsich,
I just needed a second to put it in my head.
You know, was there any reason? Because I know that you worked very diligently on that overlay district. Was there a reason why that was the line stopped there? Just looking for the spirit of the district.
It was really just the choice of the planning board to get as few parcels as necessary into the MICMOD.
Oh, okay. I didn't like that at all. I think that we need diversity of housing in this town. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
And you're so reticent to give your opinion. I'm really glad you shared this time.
Okay. Yeah, no, but that's it. But that's important. That's why I knew that John would know that answer. Where and why they drew certain lines, because for me, I couldn't understand why they would just go to all the way to the end of a street, and just include that whole thing. It just seemed odd that they would stop in the middle of a couple lots. Sort of like where he was just saying where the house is halfway between one lot and another. It seems like that's what we ended up doing with that line, which is why that I think that this is more de minimis. Anybody else have any questions? Dan or Arnold? Anybody? Otherwise, I'll open it up to the public. Okay. Are there any members of the public that would like to ask some questions or have some input? Pam, I see you just lit up.
Yep. Hi, Pam Mitchell, 5 Claflin Street. I have questions, a lot of questions, but I think from what I'm hearing, today's meeting is only about 210-23A and
Right.
not anything else.
Right.
No.
That is correct. Oh, no, it isn't. Is it, no, it's 210, 20.3, 210, 254B1, and 210, 20.4, I thought.
Okay.
No, so those, and sorry if I was confusing. So what I was making just a point of is that we're not at the end of our permitting. Where we are right now, we're before the board because of 20.3 and the fact that we have these units that go over the zoning and like you mentioned, the development, it goes into 10 Walcott, which is i.e. just downtown business district. However, Ms. Mitchell, that section 210 20.4, which deals with off-street parking, that is within, if you read the bylaws, it's just within the planning board's purview. So the planning board is going to have a discussion with us as applicant about the off-street parking. And then as it relates to the entirety of this 13-unit project and the condominium itself, that will also be falling within a special permit, which is a permitted use by special permit under that section 254, 254, the B1, I believe I said.
B1, yeah. Is that planning board also?
That's, yes, both of those. So all
Okay,
of
both those.
McMod is
Okay.
within the planning board's purview. Yeah, or within their,
Then I guess Pam is right, that it is just 210, 20.3. Yeah. All right, Pam, thank you. You're exactly right.
Can I ask questions about any of those other things or no?
No, because that's not it's out of our 4 corners.
Sorry, my dog was just drinking very loudly. So I muted her. How tall are the units? Is that part of this?
No, that's planning board
Absolutely.
also.
Yep.
It is?
Well, you can ask the question how tall it is.
Oh, yeah, I know, but that has,
Because they're not seeking anything they're not seeking because it's taller than what it's supposed to be, but she can certainly ask how tall the units are.
Oh, sure.
Because they're not asking for a variance for that because
Okay.
it meets within the guidelines, but you can certainly ask how tall it is.
Well, it seems taller than the guidelines for 3 Claflin Street. So that's why I'm confused.
let's see.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
You can blow that up, Dave.
It's 34 feet and 11 and an eighth. And so the height is 35 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
And Ms. Mitchell, if you'd like, if you could even send me an email just proactively. I'm more than happy to speak with you offline for any questions that you have in advance.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, Pam still has her hand up. So Pam, you can still have the floor. You don't have to put your hand up. I'll give you another minute of your 2. Oh, you're all done? You're muted. Oh, is your dog drinking again?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't know I had to lower my hand. I apologize. No, I think I'm done for now. I think I just have a lot of questions about the width of the street and the off-street parking, which I think goes for the next one. And also the exit out onto Claflin, assuming that isn't covered today.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Pam. Sarah Brophy, could you give us your name and your address, please?
Sure. Sarah Brophy. I'm at 9 Claflin Street.
Thank you.
I also have the same kind of questions that Pam does about the egress and the fact that the fire department is okay with the emergency service access, because if your only egress and your entrance and egress is on Claflin, I don't know how they make that 90-degree turn on there if they're going to come in through Main Street or what have you. That is a concern of mine. But I think my first question is really something that you had mentioned, John, that there's a moratorium until 2030 on multifamily units. So why is this an exception?
This was left out of that. This was the only area that the planning board at the time allowed to have multifamily housing. That's why right behind the church or on Main Street. That's why they have another dozen condominiums. I think Chuck Joseph put them up. Basically right across the street from where these are. So once these are built, this until 2030, nobody's be able to build any other garden apartments. Is actually what we referred to them as back then. But this is what was passed at town meeting was to put a moratorium on building anywhere except for right there.
Okay, so what year did that town meeting happen at? Because I don't recall that at all.
About maybe about 12 years ago.
Okay.
So through the chair, just to clarify, I don't believe there's an actual moratorium. It's just that there's a finding that needs to be made in the garden apartment sections that we are below the 10% required affordable housing for 40B. And since we're above the 10% currently, the planning board is unable to make that finding, and therefore effectively those types of developments are not allowed. Is that what you're talking about? I'm not.
Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. Yes, okay. And I guess the way I looked at it was a moratorium because we have to wait till the next census.
Yeah, moratorium carries a certain definition in Massachusetts.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize.
So I think people think of it a certain way.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, absolutely. So my next question is about that 10 Walcott Place and that house being, maintaining that space. Have you looked at redesigning this so you actually have entry and exit through that end of the street versus coming in and off of Claflin? I ask because Claflin is a very narrow street. It's a dead end street, and I live towards the other side of that. And I'm extremely concerned about having 30 cars, 40 cars coming in and out of here. And I did see somewhere too that there is parking. Now you're putting public parking on Claflin as well too. And it's just an incredibly dense amount of stuff, let's call it, in a very small space.
So, Ms. Brophy, just to answer your first question with regards to the emergency access. So with regards to these meetings that I had referenced before, there was certainly some discussion with the fire department about access from either the south or the north for emergency apparatus, or the primary is the fire engine or the ladder truck. Mm-hmm. So that was looked into, and so the turning radius, at least as far as I'm aware, is allowable from that northern portion leading out onto Claflin Street.
I can't see where you're pointing, just out of reference. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, can you see that? Okay. Or
I can see that, but you were pointing with your finger at your monitor, and I can't see that pointing on your monitor.
No, yeah, just looking at that northern side, as well as access coming from the south. So it's that it would be a scenario where emergency vehicles would come in, but then have to back out. That type of thing. It would be it's a flow through. Okay. With regards to that residential piece, like Mr. DePietri had said, it's right now subject to rental. It's been a long-term rental, so there's no decisions being made in any way trying to alter that.
It's a rental. You can do whatever you want with it. So.
Yeah, well, there's just no decisions are made in doing anything with that portion.
Well, David, also, Dave, we're not acquiring that. The current owners are keeping that building.
Okay.
Right. Was it ever discussed as a proposal, just looking at an alternate way to get traffic in and out? I mean, again, these are very small, narrow streets. You're talking about Walcott at that point being a one-way street in one direction. And so you're forcing a lot of traffic one way into this space. And I'm just, concerned if you've considered any other ways around that.
I think the only two viable access is off of Claflin and then off of Main Street where the emergency access comes out the other way. I think that was, we felt, were the only viable accesses. The problem with, coming in off of Walcott, you're right at that intersection there. So you'd have, with Claflin there and then an entrance to this project there pretty close to each other. I think it, presents some, from a traffic standpoint, just some concerns from that standpoint of having two entrances right next to each other, or an access into the project and then the street. I think the engineers felt that this was the best access, into this project, was the way it was designed. And to get the emergency vehicles in, the entranceway is extra wide as well, so that they can make the radius turns to get the emergency vehicles into the project.
Are these going to be sprinkled?
Yes.
Okay. That's a big one. Okay, thank you.
So I guess I'll go back to the parking, because we had things before in front of us for Claflin, and it is a very narrow street. I've gone down there. I drove down there purposely just to kind of get an eyeball. Is that off-street? So where's the off-street parking? There's 7 off-street parking spots that you'd mentioned. Where are those?
So those are on either side of the entranceway, and sort of the thought process of those was the fire department was concerned that people would potentially park on the street as it's paved right now, which would make it very difficult for them to get the emergency vehicles down there. So what we're proposing is these parking spaces, public parking, which is off of the edge of the pavement. So most of it's on our land, a little bit's on the town right away as well. And that would help alleviate the problem of people actually parking on the street, which I don't think anybody wants to see that happening, because like you said, the street is, pretty narrow. So we're just trying to alleviate, a future potential problem by putting this in now versus having to deal with it down the road. So that's sort of out there. We don't need that parking. We meet the requirements with the parking within the project. We just thought it was good planning to have these additional spaces there, which would be used for people in the condominiums as well as, residents on the street as well if they needed to park there.
Well, if you're not changing any of the parking lot behind 14, which I think is Bill's or Beaumain, couldn't you have those folks park in those spots instead of dropping in additional parking on Claflin?
Yeah, potentially they could, and then walk down, because we are going to have pedestrian access there. Like I said, we don't need it for our project. It was just in thinking what's going to happen there down the road and looking what's happening on Walcott Street, where it's, you get pretty active area down there, and people are just going to, you go down there at night and most of those marked spaces are taken on most nights down there. And the thought was that eventually they're going to start coming down Claflin Street, and we're just trying to alleviate a problem, that could happen in the future.
Well, I guess depending on your perspective.
Sarah, I can only really give people
understood. Just one last point. Depending on your perspective on that, you could also see that you're exacerbating the problem by adding in more spots.
Yeah, and that comes down to the planning board does the parking and all that stuff too. Yeah,
either way, if the planning board doesn't think it's a good idea, we're fine with that as well. We were just trying to be proactive instead of having to be reactive down the road. That was just sort of our thought, our thought on it.
I'm trying to stay, on the Board of Appeals, we have to stay in our own lane. Otherwise, planning board will spank us. Wait a minute, Bernie, you had your hand up. Yes, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much for the chance to speak here. Much like
wait a minute, could you your name and address?
Concerns we have.
Bernie, name and address.
Change on our.
Bernie, name and address.
I appreciate you hearing us out, and hopefully we can come up with adjustments if we can make our case. First of all, water is always an issue. I don't know if that's out of the question, but addition, the runoff we have is a problem. Lighting, I'm very concerned about over our houses being exposed by lighting. One of the big things I'm looking at, and I just seeing the plans now, I'm really questioning 46 feet. So we would call it on the very east end of that property of 10 as being there. And I do know when the surveyor came out here, they were standing in the middle of the front yard of our neighbor's lawn with a chart that was older than her, and she's 90 years old. And so I'm a little leery. I don't think there's 46 feet on that end of 10 Walcott. I'm sure you're professionals. I'm sure you've figured it out, but can you assure me, or what do I need to do to find out for sure that there's enough room there?
I'm sorry, where's the 46 feet you're...
So if you look at 10 and you see where the house is, go to the far end. And you say you've got 46 feet deep for parking.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm seeing the 46 feet.
Go by 5 Walcott, go by 7 Walcott. You got to go down the other end. And on one of your other maps, you had 46 feet from street to the end of your property. There you go.
Oh, here. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm,
yep.
You know, being here and living here, and I've seen where your tape is on trees. I don't think that's 46 feet.
Okay.
So is there any way to verify that? We can double check that just so we know we're talking about the same footage.
Well, we can, don't we have the, don't we have the individual town?
Hello, this is Mark Alicaro with MP Design Consultants. I'm sorry, my camera is not working. If I could answer to that. We have completed a survey of the property as well as an A&R, and it all complies back to the land court. So it is indeed 46 feet if you look at records of the town, and also the measurements taken by the surveyor. Is this plan was also stamped by the professional surveyor. We can provide all the backup to make the confirmation that this is indeed a 46-foot bearing distance on that property line specifically. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. I'd like to see it because I know I've seen this map drawn differently earlier, and it was much more of a almost like an apple pie wedge shape. And I don't know if this is going to be the place where we can discuss it, but very concerned about water runoff. Pools are sitting there, and as last spring when we had some rains, even in late August when we had late heavy rains, we had pooling of water. You're going to put on impervious surfaces, and it's going to run right towards our houses. And as you know, we have maybe 15-foot frontages on our houses from road to building.
Mr. Mitchell, just one thing I didn't touch upon before was just in relation to stormwater. So I have here just a blown up rendition of sheet C103 of our site plans, which identifies that we're actually going to have 2 stormwater infiltration systems that will capture the drainage on the northern side, closer to Claflin Street. I'm pointing to here, and another one here. And then we're also going to be replacing a catch basin that's located on the town property down here with a structure of the same kind right here, this catch basin. Okay.
And Bernie, you can actually, when the planning board does site plan review, aspects that Sarah brought up about the entrance and exit and the stormwater and all that, because they do site plan review.
And lighting and that kind of stuff.
And the light, especially the lighting. Yes, that was always a big one with planning board.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you.
Anybody else from any other butters?
Rick Bernier from One Hoyt Way.
Yes, Rick.
I'm a little late joining the call. My apologies, but I just want to find out from is this the same owner that's developed the property who owns 17 Main Street and 6 Church Street, and I take it also Beaumain that's going to be developing the property, or is this a different family? I'm just curious.
The developer. I don't know. I don't have. Again, this is what kills me not to have the. Mr. Click, what's the name of the developer that's doing this?
It's Capital Group Properties.
Okay.
And Capital Group Properties is owned by who? Who's the parent owner of that? That's just a company name.
But it's an LLC, so it doesn't really make it.
Yeah, William DePietri.
Okay.
Anything else, Rick?
No, I just want to make sure, I live over One Hoyt Way where Chuck Joseph recently developed you guys were talking about earlier, a new development right across the street from where this is going up. And I've recent experience dealing with a developer who built, who rebuilt 17 Main Street, and he wasn't exactly terribly agreeable to actually work with me on addressing a lot of the lighting issues that I had. He even told me one time, just go out and buy blinds. I just want to make sure that, white noise is going to be a problem over there. And I walk Clifton all the time, and it's a really quiet street. I walk my dogs on it every day. I know a lot of the people on that street. Mm-hmm. And my concern, again, is number one, the runoff. Tons of traffic now going in and out of there because it's really a tucked away street. It's really nice. And it's the water, it's the lights, I just think that we need to figure out a better way to come in and out of that property versus that street.
Right. So I guess you're going to the planning board meeting also.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry everyone that it is. Yeah. It's not in my lane, and I have to.
Okay.
But we appreciate it, and I'm sure that that Mr. Click and the developer are hearing you now, and so there'll be really good answers for the planning board.
If I may, Mr. Bernier, which are you in the new development? I didn't catch your address. I'm
in the new development over at One Hoyt Way.
So you're in the new development, and then if you'd like, feel free to give me to give me an email or if you have any questions.
And what's your email address?
It's just dmclick@nealandlaw.com.
NEILAND.com.
It's NEALON. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Sarah, did you get that? Bernie, did you get that too?
dmclick@nealandlaw.com.
Yep.
Got it.
Excellent. Beautiful.
Yes, I did get that. I do have a question. Are these plans going to be made available for us to take a look at? This is the first time we're all seeing it, and there's a lot of detail in here.
They're all on the town website.
Okay, I looked at the town website before this meeting, and I didn't see any of these plans posted there.
Oh,
there's no link in the agenda saying that there's a folder of documents anywhere.
Oh, John, I got them. I got them online. So, John, it's available to the public, isn't it?
Yeah, you can send an email to me, JGELCICH, jgelsich @hopkintonma.gov. My email address is on the website as well. Or come in to the town hall, and somebody should be able to get the file. Okay. Make copies and stuff.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
John, I have a question. I'm not sure if you can see my hand or not.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Sandy.
Hi, John. So a lot of people
Sandy, I may name just because I know your name doesn't mean that everybody else knows your name and address.
Okay, I'm Sandy Lucchese, and I also live across the street at 7 Hoyt Way.
Okay.
And some of the questions they've asked are the same ones I had, and concerns is primarily about traffic flow. Living here, I see it every day. There's just, it from 2:30 to 6 o'clock, there's a lot of traffic. So seeing more traffic coming into town, I guess my question, you probably said it earlier, but I had some issues with my system. Are they going to be changing at all? Like Claflin right now, Walcott's one way. Will there be any changes to people being able to come up, say, A Street to Claflin, or is it going to still stay one way all the way down?
Yeah, okay, well, that's sort of one of the things I was trying to tell people before. That has nothing to do with the Board of Appeals. That's the planning board. The planning board handles all of those things.
Okay.
And I'm no longer on the planning board.
Gotcha. All right. My other question then also is probably the same thing: is who will be responsible for the road once the development is completed? Will that be the developer? Will that be the town? Who will be responsible?
Which road are you talking about?
To come into the development itself, to the units? Like that development, who's going to be responsible for that drive? I assume it's like Hoyt.
That would, yeah. So in Hoyt, you live in the new development?
Correct.
Okay, and that's off of 135?
That's across the street on Main Street.
Yeah, okay, so off Main Street. Yeah, it would be the condominium. Yep.
Okay, so it'll be a private way?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why they're blocked. That's why they're blocking it off. And that was one of my things, that it wouldn't become a cut through. That's what I was saying. People would be pulling out of, and yes, exactly. Just like I can't cut through to the church parking lot going up your street.
Although I have seen two people do it.
Yeah, same here.
No kidding.
Yeah.
They've driven up the pathway. They went up to the top of Hoyt and they continued up the walkway to the back of the church.
Wow.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for telling me, because we can't take it for the church. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
I have one other question, and maybe this is planning board and nothing to do with you as well. Is somebody else mentioned, I think it was Bernie, his concern was about water, but in terms of runoff, my concern is the opposite, is about the shortage of water. And again, please cut me off. Is that a planning board issue, I assume?
It's definitely not Board of Appeals.
Okay, so my questions are for a different meeting, but this is still good to get a better appreciation.
Yeah, and that's why I do appreciate everybody coming forward, because it does give them time to come up with answers or fixes before they get to the planning board, to make sure that everybody people need to know what your issues are, even if we can't do anything on the Board of Appeals. It's good to get all this stuff out for everyone to hear about.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay.
All right. Is there any other public comment? Is there anybody else?
Anybody else from the public? Okay.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Pam has her hand up, by the way.
Oh, who did? Pam? I'm sorry.
Pam. Okay, well, Pam, we'll squeeze you. There's no second, so I can squeeze you in.
I'm sorry, Pam.
No, that's okay. I wasn't sure if I could have a second question.
I didn't know if that hand was still up from before.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So
that's okay, Pam. Go ahead.
Quick question about the catch basin that they were talking, that Mr. Quick was talking about, that's in the driveway, I think, and then on the other part. What does that look like, or is that all underground? The drainage.
Underground.
Okay. That's, I was just curious. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And,
Thank you.
And also save that one for the planning board too.
Okay. I will.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are all great questions. They really are, and I totally understand where everybody's coming from with the lighting and the runoff and the traffic patterns. That's all site plan review, and I did that for 6 years on that planning board. And yes, but that was.
Would anybody else in the public want to speak up? Absent anyone speaking up, I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, we have a motion to close, and we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Jim, how do you vote?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Oh, I'm.
Okay, Mike?
Yes.
And Dan?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Excellent. Okay, the public hearing is closed. All right, so does anybody else have any additional questions for Mr. Click or the developer or the engineer? Okay, all right, then I'm going to.
It doesn't matter, doesn't, because the hearing's closed.
Right, okay, yeah, but we might have something that we might have to ask them.
No, we can't.
Okay, then. All right, then in that case, Mike, I'm going to read some facts. The proposed development includes 3 separate parcels of land, 2 of which U16-151-0 and U16-153-4 are located entirely within the MBTA Communities Multifamily Overlay District, now known as the MCMOD, and 1 parcel, U16-143-0, is located outside the MCMOD. 2, all 3 parcels are located within the Downtown Business District. 3, a single-family dwelling unit currently exists at 10 Walcott Street and will remain as part of the final condition of the development. 4, the proposed development includes all the construction of 13 net new attached townhouse units, 1 of which is proposed to be deed-restricted affordable. 5, the proposed townhome-style development use is allowed in the Downtown Business District only through issuance of a special permit by the Board of Appeals. The residential use outside the MCMOD but within the BD district must comply within the dimensional standards as set forth in 210-5 Residence A. Number 7, the proposed uses require a special permit to be issued by the Board of Appeals pursuant to section 210-20.3A2. Findings. I move that the Board of Appeals find that the following, as it relates to the proposed development at 0 and 14 Main Street and 10 Walcott Street. Special permit for multi-use. All applicable criteria and standards set forth in Chapter 210 zoning bylaw have been satisfied. And 2, grant of the special permit will be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of Chapter 210, the zoning bylaw. But I have a motion to accept the facts and the findings.
I have I make a motion to accept the facts and the finding as read by John Catino, Chair.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Jim?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Decision. I move that the board approve the special permit under 210-20.3A2 for 10 Walcott Street, which is part of a larger development project which includes 0 and 14 Main Street, to allow for the construction of a multi-residential use which conforms with the standards set forth in section 210-5 of the Hopkinton zoning bylaws. Does anybody want to second that or have any?
Second.
Okay, second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Jim?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Okay, so you guys passed the Board of Appeals. This is our stuff is really just rudimentary here, but now you've got the whole meat of the project with the planning board. So good luck, everyone, and really thank you everybody for coming for this, because really great questions, and it really is going to give them to think about.
John?
Yes.
Just one reminder. They said they would submit the building plans when I asked about them.
Yes, I'll send those, Mr. Damasio. I'll send those to Aneri and make sure that she has them, and make sure that they're available for anyone who comes up to the front desk, or I would imagine that she'd make them available online after the fact. I'll get that done tomorrow, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to housekeeping. The minutes from the previous meetings. Does anybody have any changes to the meeting minutes? If not, could somebody give me a motion to accept as drafted?
I make a motion to accept the meetings as they were sent out to us.
There a second?
Second.
Excellent. We get multiple seconds. Sean, Mike, thank you. Okay, discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Jim?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
And I vote to accept the minutes also. Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, we just got another application in, so I think we're going to probably have another meeting in 2 weeks. I'll double check on that. I'll check back with Adina or Kobe. I think Kobe's got that sent out today, so I'll make sure that I'll look it over and make sure that's ready to go. And if so, we can schedule that one in 2 weeks. Okay. That takes care of everything on our agenda.
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
In a second, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Here we go again. James.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Now it's Arnold and Sean.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll vote in the affirmative also. Excellent. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Sarah, thank you very much for coming. Bernie, Pam, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, HCAM, for covering us. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.